Greetings, my fellow FNMA and Freddie Mac warriors. So this morning I want to talk about. It's not about so much about FNMA and Freddie Mac, but it is actually about housing. So Jerome Powell said that decreasing the interest rates will not affect the housing that much, and like that is not. He's probably preparing the situation that he don't cut the interest rates. So that's why he's rhetoric, like he's bad guy. But does it affect? Of course it does. Like that is like there's like multiple factors. He said like it needs more housing and this and that. It doesn't matter. You do whatever you can in order to solve the problem. You don't take and say, okay, this is just the switch and I will press and everything will change. No, it is like multifactorial equation. With, and you need to change a lot of stuff in order to have the results. Yes, and each part have its own effect. Why he's bad guy, the Jerome Powell, and why he hurts us, common guys, like guys who are just regular guys, because he don't decrease the interest rate. And remember about his history. When he came to the power and Trump appointed him, instantly he took and increased the interest rates. It was around 0% or something like that, 0.25. And then when he came to the position of the Fed, he took and increased the interest rate. But not only that, he also started quantitative tightening. That is like a removal of the amount of the money from the market, and that Fed reserves take and pull out the money from the market to decrease the money supply, and that actually what is creating the problem for the economy, because if the economy has more money, it will be able to work more. And he kept that during whole Trump era. Like probably it was like a problem, but not that much as interest rates, so they didn't want to address and tag him on that. Or maybe he didn't, that was like his red line. I don't believe that at that point of time he had so much energy to defend, but now he did. Then remember, that was like time pass. The Biden took the country, and inflation start, and him and what was the woman that was oh my god, the woman that was also in the government, I think she was Treasury Secretary. They start talk about transitional inflation, like it is like temporary, like that doesn't exist in economy. He invented that, and like if I lose the money, and I lose the money faster and then slower, that means that I did lose the money. Now I'm losing it slower. So transitional inflation is still inflation. It is just it's never the same velocity of the inflation. It is like always different. Inflation doesn't move like on a type 2%. It goes in 2%. But if it goes 10% and it goes 2%, I still lost the money. And he didn't want to do the to increase the interest rate and to stop that. When he done it too late, intentionally, because he didn't want to slow down economy because the elections. He knows that, like when you decrease the interest rates, it needs time to come into effect. For example, like a couple of months ago, he didn't decrease the interest rates for 0.25%, and that will reflect in a 6 month. Even now we don't feel like we have okay, some people start to refinance and doing this and that, but that economy feel the effect of 25% cut. It needs at least 6 months. Then he also stopped Yeah, recently, because of the Trump forced him, he stopped the quantitative tightening, and so his comments that that will not have the effect on the housing are a complete lie, and because of him, people like me, people like you, who have the mortgages are losing the money. Why they're losing the money? Because right now I pay on the house 7% interest rate, and my mortgage is 4,000. If case he decreased the interest rate for 1%, and he cut like 25%, 25, he could, if he want, he could decrease 1%, 2%. Can put it on zero, like it was during Obama era, and there was no reason from his perspective that Obama has 0%, except political. Economically, no. They wanted to show Obama as a good for the economy. That's why they decreased the interest rate. But now, when we know that there is no inflation, he can cut it to zero, and we can have again like interest rates of 2-3% for the housing mortgage. So if I pay the house 4,000 on 7%, and I personally plan to refinance, if it falls below 5, I will save $1,000 per month. That is $12,000 per year. That is a lot of money for me as a common guy. If he cuts more, I will be able to save even more, even 2,000. So he cost me, and I'm no one. I'm just the guy on the. You wouldn't recognize me on the street that you see it, or like just the neighbor. Like he cost me $24,000 up to now because he didn't cut the interest rates. Since we have inflation 2%, so when we had inflation 2%, less than 2.5, he could cut it 1%, 2%, and now I would save 24,000. And his refusal to cut the interest rate now, it's even more. And he can cut a good, even 2%. He can bring it to zero, as it was. Why not? So Jerome Powell cost common man thousands of dollars, and his decisions are basically and completely based on political agenda, not economical, political. Jerome Powell cost us a lot.